The first card you have your past is the Five of Swords. So, yeah, this is a horrible kind of a card. And, usually it's about getting away from someone you don't like or a situation you don't like with this horrible man, and these other two men are walking away. So I think you really wanted to get away at this time. I think you were planning on getting away from someone or thinking about that. You might have been planning an escape from someone. It's a little bit confusing because I think it feels like you're with someone. It feels like this was a love connection, but there wasn't a lot of love there. I think it was probably at the end of things. You were thinking of a separation, all that. So you're wanting to get away from this person. That's how it feels to me. And, I'm getting the words in my head of reasonable. I'm trying to be reasonable. So I think you tried with this person. You tried to be reasonable. You tried to talk to them. Nothing was really working. And I think you're trying to be reasonable for someone else's sake as well, because I'm seeing someone else here, maybe a child. It doesn't have to be, but there are two people walking away here. And I think you're trying to keep things kind of, reasonable and okay so that it didn't harm someone else. I'm getting that. And I think also this person's quite a negative influence, this ex or this kind of person you're with. There were a negative influence on this other person. That's what I'm getting. And you didn't want them around this influencer. That's what I'm seeing. So I think at this time, it kind of feels as if you weren't quite getting away yet. You wanted to. You were thinking about this. Maybe you're dreaming about this, thinking, oh, how am I going to do this? And, I think there were some obstacles at this time. It feels like there were practical things. I don't think there were any kind of there weren't any heart obstacles in the way. You didn't have all those feelings for them. It was really just practical. You might have had some financial difficulties where you found it difficult to get away. You had to wait until you were a bit more financially stable, or it might be, something even like, not being able to get some time off work, that you couldn't really get the time out to really plan this properly and do what you needed to do. So a few different practical things. Okay, so if this is you, I am seeing a move here. I'm seeing a temporary move. It feels like a time out to me, that you're going to get some time away. Not permanently, but this is going to give you some time to kind of get these thoughts happening properly in your head to kind of work out what you really need to do. And I am seeing this is probably going to be toward the end of this year. So it's looking, Christmas, New Year. So it might be that you go away with your family, or you go to be with loved ones or someone like that at that time, Christmas or New Year, and that will give you that time to think. So, I think this is absolutely the right thing for you to be doing, if that's what you're doing, because you really need this break in your head, because you might not be emotionally ready to permanently move away yet. Not that you're emotionally attached to them, but, there's a lot to sort through when you go through something like this. Just because you don't want to be with them doesn't mean that you're emotionally ready to leave yet. There's a lot that happens in between that. So, but yeah, this break that I'm seeing here at Christmas time, New Year, it's going to get your head on the right path. That's what I'm seeing. And, I don't know whether you celebrate Christmas or not, but if you do, when you're away, if it is at Christmas time, the focus for you, I think, this year won't be on celebrating as much. It's not going to be a miserable time for you. It's not like you're going to be sitting there, oh, I'm so miserable. But it's just going to be a more reflective time for you. It's not going to be like, oh, happy Christmas, I'm so happy, happy New. It's going to be more like, okay, I'm reflecting on myself. I'm reflecting on what I'm going through. I'm reflecting on where I want to be next year. What do I want for myself, and all of that. So you'll be thinking all these kinds of things, and this is a positive move for you. Just a little bit of time away, even if it's a couple of days or something. It's a very, very positive new start to you, or it's there to get you on that road. That's what I'm getting in that card. Okay, so the next card you have your past, the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so there's a little bit of a struggle here. You might be, even though your heart's really kind of not really in this with this person, the feeling I'm getting is, I know this is all in the past, but I think you're still going through a bit of this. There might still be a little bit of hope that, you'll get away for a while and they'll realise what they're doing, that their behaviour is wrong, and they'll come back and they might change. And I think even though your heart's really not in this, you still might be thinking, well, there might be some hope for this. We might be able to reconcile things. We might be able to repair things. So there's still a little bit of that in your mind, I think, or there was at this time. I can't quite see where you are with this right now. I hate to say this, but I'm actually not seeing them changing. I'm really not. If you look at this card, this man's obviously holding on really, really tightly to these coins. So I think the behaviour is probably ingrained. I think they're holding on to this behaviour. I don't think they're going to let it go. I think they've probably been like this for a while, and I really, really don't think they're going to change. I think in the past, there have been some times where you've kind of said to them, can you please change your behaviour? I'm really not happy with this, or however you said it, maybe not that politely. And, maybe things changed for a short time, but then I think they went back to the default again, because I'm seeing a bit up and down with this. So it always goes back to the default. It always does. And that's what I'm seeing. And really, if you're expecting this person to change, I'm really not seeing any permanent changes happening with them, just temporary ones, and then they go back again. So, I just have to say this, if this is resonating with you, I'm not saying every Gemini's relationship has these problems. I know most people realise that, but I always get these angry people who say, no, that's not me. Okay, well, if you don't recognise this yourself in this, it's not about you, obviously. So, but anyway, the message on the Five of Swords is really, really clear here. It's walk away. And from what I'm seeing here, you're gearing yourself up to doing that if you haven't already. And I think, again, this temporary time out, it's absolutely going to help you to start to do all of that, to plan things in your head. Don't put pressure on yourself, because there's a lot of stress here around you, and there are a lot of practical obstacles there as well. So don't stress yourself, don't put pressure on yourself to hurry out of a situation. Do things in your own time. Take care of yourself. It's not an easy process. Practically, emotionally, all of that. And if you have a child involved in this, which is what I'm seeing, could be here, might not be, that adds another layer of stress. For example, if it is a child, there are things like finding new schools, moving, all of that, helping them with the transition for them, helping them emotionally and all of that as well. So there are a lot of things that you have to deal with. So don't put pressure on yourself to rush, but start the process and get away in that, Christmas or New Year time, or whenever it is that you're going to do that. That's what I'm seeing there. Okay, so the last card you have, you pass the King of Pentacles. I love this card, of course. Fantastic card. Okay, so I keep on seeing this person sort of holding you back. I'm seeing a lot of criticism here that's coming from this person in the Five of Swords, and this is probably one of the reasons why you're thinking of getting away from them, or whatever this is. So, the criticism really held you back. It probably still is, even if you are away from them, because I'm not sure what stage you're at, again, with this. Even if you are away, this criticism is probably hanging around in your mind. Criticism, this kind of nasty criticism, not constructive criticism, but this kind of really nasty criticism usually comes from someone who feels bad about themselves and they want to bring you down as well. So I think you know all of that about them. The kind of criticism I'm hearing is, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I'm hearing that's not real. And I think this is around your work. I'm hearing, that's not real, get a real job. They might be saying, get a real job. That's not a real job. So if you recognize this, obviously they don't respect you. They don't respect what you do for your work. I don't know if a lot of these nasty words come up in anger. It doesn't matter what it is, it's not acceptable. And, if you look at this king, he has all these vine leaves all over him. And what that tells me is, if you can pull this criticism off yourself, like these vine leaves, and ultimately also, if you can pull this person off yourself, that's the big thing. You'll be way, way more successful in whatever this is, whether this is a job or a business or something that you're really aspiring to do. It just feels as if you're kind of trying to do this job or this work, and this big hammer comes down and it kind of hammers your head. That's the influence this person has over you. It's really, really horrible. So, if this is you, and if you shake them off, if you get rid of this person totally, you could be heading down a path toward, becoming the King of Pentacles. You might be financially better off. You might be a lot more content, like he is. So you've got to really try and shake this off in some way. It really feels immediate to me. It feels like someone's going through this right now. So if this is you, don't fear this. Try and shake this person off. Try and shake their words out of your head if you can. There's a bit of a money fear here as well, because obviously this is about money. It feels a little bit like, maybe I'll be worse off financially if I'm by myself. If I leave them, I might struggle financially. So there's that kind of fear. But obviously if you have the King of Pentacles, this is positivity toward money. And this card's not just about making money. That's the other thing about this card. It's about handling money. This is a very wise king. He handles things very carefully. He takes his time. He probably invests his money very carefully. So, I really think if you were left by yourself to kind of manage things financially, I actually think you do a much better job if you were by yourself, because you wouldn't have to answer to anyone. You wouldn't have these criticisms. You wouldn't have this big hammer hanging over your head, and you'd be so much more confident in making those decisions. So I just feel as if I have to say this: if this is you, trust yourself, absolutely trust yourself. You can do this. You're capable. You're a smart person. You're a steady person. So don't let any of these fears stop you. You'll be way better off. That doesn't mean that you're going to come away with more money financially. You might come away with less money, but you'll probably end up in the long run with more money, because you'll be able to save yourself. You'll be able to make your own decisions. So think about all of that, because I can see that you're very, very strong, and you've got this King of Pentacles here, and it's kind of giving you that message. Okay, so the first card you have, your presence, Temperance. Absolutely beautiful card. I love this. So I keep on seeing this kind of end of the year, Christmas, New Year, holiday time, all of that, and everything that's kind of happening around then. There's a little feeling of not feeling quite good enough around this time of year. So it might be that you're thinking of getting away at this time of year, but there's there's something holding you back. It's a bit like, there are some people, maybe some family members, that if I go and take this time away, I'm going to have to see these people, and they make me feel really bad about myself. They say this, or they're critical or something. And that makes me really sad to see if that's the case, if that resonates, because especially if you've got this other thing going on, this other horrible critic around you, and you try and escape, and you get to this more critical people. So this is definitely about family and getting together with family, which makes sense if that's Christmas time, holiday time. And if there's a family member that you always see around this time of year, and they make you feel like this, I'm actually seeing two people here. It might be a couple that makes you feel like this. I'm actually seeing absence. I'm seeing a gap where they usually are, like a gap at the table or a gap somewhere like that. So I actually don't think they're going to be there. I think they might decide to be somewhere else, because I don't think you'll have to be around these people, especially two specific people who are usually there aren't going to be there. That's what I'm seeing. I know that's specific, but I'm seeing a gap of two people who are usually there and they're not there. And I'm getting this clear path as well. It's like a clear path to healing. If you look to the left of this angel, there's a path leading up out of this water, and it's leading up to the sun. So what this tells me as well is that, you're going to have this space, you're going to have this peaceful time over Christmas or New Year or whatever this is, where you'll just have this. You'll be free from criticism, you'll be free from this negativity, and that's going to help you to walk up this path out of the water, out of these horrible emotions and all this stress and everything, and up toward the sun, which is very, very positive. And there's lots of healing on this card as well, with these beautiful daffodils that you can see here next to this angel. So this is going to be a really, really nice time of peace, healing, tranquility, planning as well, working out what you want to do in your future. And that's what's going to help you lift you out of this situation with these beautiful wings on this angel kind of rising up into the sky. So very, very beautiful. So I wouldn't let these people stop me. If you wanted to go away at this time and be with this family, don't let this stress you. Don't let this stress you, because I really think that there are people who usually bother you. They're not going to be there. And even if they are going to be there, the feeling I'm getting is they're not going to bother you. You're not going to let anyone destroy that peaceful time. And it's going to be a really, really crucial time for you. Okay, so the next card you have, your presence, the Nine of Wands. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing work. Because this man, he has his sleeves rolled up, he wants to work, he wants to get on with things, and you want to as well. You want to get on with things, especially when it comes to your work. But again, there is a lot of, you're going to have to build yourself up again, a lot of healing. You've had a lot of knocks to your confidence with this other person criticizing you. And I think specifically, because I was seeing a job that they were criticizing, get a real job and all that kind of thing. So they were criticizing your ambitions. So I think what I'm getting here is it feels as if you're working on something, or you're trying to develop something you're working on, and you've come up to a certain point and you've sort of hit a wall. Because if you look at this man, it's like he's travelled and he's up against this wall of these wands, and he's kind of hit a wall and he's kind of stopping and he's kind of standing there. And so, it might be this wall might be a wall that's just on your mind because you've had all these criticisms, and it might be that you've come to a certain point, you've worked, you've come up to a certain point where you haven't been able to make as much money that you want to yet. Maybe you're only making a small amount, or maybe even nothing yet, and you might be questioning, oh, maybe I can't make any money out of this, maybe I can't do this, I've hit a wall, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, I've had this person telling me I can't do this, that I have to get a real job or whatever. So it's about a dream of yours. And you've just come to a stop. That's what I'm getting. I'm actually getting a lot of dreams here, a lot of imagination. I think you might be imagining yourself doing this thing, or imagining yourself being really successful at this. But I think when it comes to the reality of this, you get up to a certain point and then there's a barrier. So if this is resonating with you, what I really want to do is I really want to encourage you to firstly ignore this person's criticism, ignore their words, keep going, put one foot in front of the other, just keep going step by step. And the other thing I want to tell you is you can make money out of this. Everyone hits a wall. Everyone who has a business has a time where they're not making much, and then they start rising up. You've got the King of Pentacles here as well, and that tells you that you can make money out of this if you want to. And, if you can't get this person's words out of your head, use them as fuel. You can say something like, every word you say, even if you say it in your own head, and everything you say about me, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to be the opposite. If you say I can't do this, if you say it's not a real job, I'll show you. I'll do this. Just watch me. So I know that sounds a bit Aries, but I want you to do this. That's why I'm saying this to you. I really, really think you can do this. I really think this can work. And you've got the Temperance card here as well. And that can be about rising up. And it can be about, using negativity to fuel a positive outcome, which is what alchemy can be about. So, if you look at this man in this card again, he's got a bandage around his head. So what that tells me is this person's tried to mess with your head, putting all this negativity in your head. But despite that, you've just got to keep moving forward like this man. Push forward, move forward. Whatever you do, don't let this person's words define you. You define you. You define you. You define where you're going. Don't let them define you. You have to define you. Okay, I know that sounds a little bit bossy, but I think someone needs to hear that. Okay, so the last card you have here present is the High Priestess. Okay, so this is a very beautiful card. It's very intuitive, creative. It's about things that aren't really tangible. It's about all of that kind of thing. I think this thing that you want to do, or this thing that you're working on, it might actually be something creative, or it's something intuitively driven. It might be something spiritual. Quite often anything that's creative or anything that's, not easily understood by a lot of people, anything that's not mainstream, all these kinds of things, they can be criticized by people. Sometimes people even find these things to be a little bit scary. I don't know why they do. People find tarot scary, for instance, or art, especially contemporary art. They find that quite scary because, they can't categorize it. It's really scary to them. So they laugh at it and they criticize. What does that stand for, that kind of contemporary art? That's silly. It's because they don't understand it properly and they're scared. Some of my art's actually about categorizing people and categorizing things and trying to get outside of categories. So anyway, I won't talk about my art anyway. But if you're still healing from criticism, sometimes that can make you feel as if you want to be a little bit more secretive or very secretive. You want to hide what you're doing, things like that, because you're kind of fearing more criticism. It's like a little, it's like you go back into your shell when someone kind of kicks your shell, you go back in. And, if you feel like that around this thing that you're working on, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to come out. You don't have to tell people what you're doing yet. You can absolutely keep that to yourself for a while anyway, while you're nurturing this thing. So, it'll come out eventually, but it doesn't have to happen now. Just do what you're comfortable doing. Just keep on working. Keep on trying to push this forward. I think you'll find that, the further you go with this, the more your confidence will grow. So, you'll be ready to open this up to the world at exactly the right time, when you'll be able to just let this criticism roll off your back and laugh at it. So what I'm seeing here is there's going to be this kind of meeting between the two, between this thing that you're working on, being ready to show this thing or whatever it is, and your confidence being a lot stronger at the same time. I hope that makes sense. If you look at these two pillars on each side of the priestess, it's like they're opposites right now. So, your confidence is on one side, the thing you're working on is on the other side. Eventually, they're both going to meet in the middle. That's what I'm seeing in that card.